The European Union has agreed to fast-track trade talks with the U.S. This comes after President Trump delayed a 50% tariff by more than a month. Part of these talks is extending duty-free imports of American lobsters. Jeff Flock is in Maine with the story.
We're out here in the Atlantic Ocean, just off the coast of Kennebunkport, Maine, where Maine lobstermen are not only watching the traps come up, we're also watching that EU trade deal. That's Chris Welch over there. Maybe you see him bringing the latest harvest in. What you got in there, Chris?
Looks like a good pick on this one. We got some nice mail there for the market. That's going to make somebody a nice, yummy dinner.
Watch that those claws don't bite you, and also watch out that trade deal doesn't bite you. The EU now in negotiations with the president over whether or not there's going to be a tariff on Maine lobsters to Europe. What do you think?
So I'm not an expert on tariffs, but I do know that if it affects our bottom line, we pay attention. What little I know about tariffs is if we can keep our lobster markets open and our lobsters moving, that's good for the Maine lobster industry, and that's what really matters to us.
Gotcha. The other thing the president has done is put an executive order out, which is saying that he'd like to have fewer regulations on lobstermen. That sounds like a good thing, but you already put a lot of regulations on yourself, right? Because you want to preserve this crop.
Yeah, so lobstermen are steward of the sea. We've often put things in motion ahead of time to make sure that we protect our future and our stock for now. We put in things like a V-notch law. We put in things like an oversized and an undersized.
The V-notch law, by the way, they put a notch. This one isn't getting notched, but if it's an egg-bearing female,
will
mark
notch
it so
that's
that
right.
you throw it back and you don't harvest it.
The next lobsterman that harvests that knows that it's an egg-bearing female. Return it to the ocean for the future.
Gotcha.
We've done other things over time, and
you don't
the list
keep
is
the
long.
Small ones.
No, we don't keep the small ones, and we don't keep the oversized.
Fun fact about lobsters, by the way, the claws are out there. If you don't want to get bitten by one, blow on the claw. It'll close right up. Fun fact. Off of Kennebunkport, Maine, there's the, maybe you see, there's the shore. I think that's the Bush family compound out there off in the distance. I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network in the Atlantic.